Good afternoon and welcome to the program Beyond the News here on the Nation Online TV. My name is Yewande Fasan, and with me is my guest and analyst, Mr. Olakunle Abimbola. Welcome, sir. How are you today?
Good morning. Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Welcome.
This is the first time we're meeting officially in
Yeah.
the year 2026, and we officially also saying to our viewers out there a very, very big happy new year. And we also pray that this year bring forth everything you desired. And as we start the year, we'll be, of course, you're starting with us here on the Nation as we take you down the journey in politics, everything about politics, the back and forth. And again, we are entering into the season of the election. And this year, 2026, is the year where we would get to see and hear a lot of, shall I say, gas boosts from the political scene. And while we wait for that, let's just get down with what we have today. And as usual, we'll take the headlines first. And I'll be starting with, the Nation newspaper. From the headlines here, we have IG deploys court to rescue 177 kidnapped in Kaduna. Nigeria produced 554.4 MB in 2025, says NUPRC. The major headline reads, Federal government will rely less on borrowing to drive growth. This is coming from Edun. Court likely to seal government acquisition of Hussaini controversial UK house. Over to New Telegraph. Nigeria earned 14.2 trillion naira from gas exports in 2025. The major headline reads, Jonathan, others can contest, says PDP. This is speaking of the 2027 general elections. FG target less borrowing, more investment. This is coming from Wale Edun. Finally, the Punch newspaper, and it says, Malami faces long detention as DSS intensifies investigation. And if you check further, you see other headlines there, but these are the major headlines today. And I would like to take the first story from the Nation. And it says, federal government will rely less on borrowing to drive growth. And the lead here says, the federal government will cut down on borrowings and increase mobilization of foreign and domestic investments under a comprehensive strategy to accelerate economic growth. And this brings the question, have we not been accelerating economic growth? Why is it now that we think that less borrowing will degenerate the growth of the country? And do we actually think that without borrowing, Nigeria can actually thrive? Do we think that?
No, it's not an open and shut case. You always need to borrow if you must.
Not if we must. I mean, if we must,
If you
let us
must.
leave it like
Because
that.
see, borrowing is fundamental to the capitalist, international capitalist system. There's a market, there is supply, and there is a market for
Yeah.
and that market pops up capitalism. So you always borrow if you must. Now, even if you are not borrowing, you turn the lender, your excess, you give it to people who need the money. So
Right.
that's how it works. So if Nigeria, has enough money like the Gulf states and they don't have to borrow, they will still play the debt market by lending people their own excess liquidity. So that's how it works. So borrowing will always be part of the picture. But what the finance minister is saying is that there have been a lot of talk about the debt liquidity of, I mean, the debt burden of Nigeria. We like to make all these dramatic and graceful words to follow our headline. Debt burden as if Nigeria is crossing. But that's not the case. Well, it's always good. I mean, there is this old saying, he who goes are borrowing, goes are sorrowing. But that's not the international capitalist system, like I said. So you borrow if you must. But what he's saying is that they are going to explore some other areas, even
Yeah.
if it's indirect borrowing. Even what he's saying
I said they will
is
reduce
that
they will reduce the way in which they borrow money.
but how does that work out? That's just a lot of authority. That's what I'm trying to say. The best they can do is indirect borrowing, which I call venture capital. What does venture capital mean? Somebody instead of you to go and borrow money
Yeah.
directly, he comes with his money and invests in your economy. That's what he's saying. It's referencing the latest deal that the president struck with the this United Arab Emirates. There was this comprehensive economic deal that the president just struck with them, and that means that they bring their money, they come and invest in Nigeria. You give them a very positive, encouraging, what do they call it? Like this word I want to use that is filling in now, incentive.
Okay.
Then after the positive incentive, it could be tax break, it could be this, it could be that, and it could be the right to repatriate all your profit 100% after paying your due tax, of course. And after that, it now come, you don't have to put a couple down, and they're exploiting that in even infrastructure development. For instance, they are talking of Lagos Abuja fast rail,
Okay.
bullet rail, and they are saying the company they are going to bring their money. Government will not, apart from the land, they are going to lay the track on, which is their own capital contribution. They are not going to spend the cover. So that is venture capital, but then it's still indirect borrowing. So if you have your cash,
borrowing is still in the mix.
It is. So, but it's just this mix. I like the word the mix because that's what you do. You are mixing so many things. Like you want to make a sausage, for instance. You combine some of the ugly, some sweet, some rotten. Just put it together and get your soup. So that's what they are doing. And if they are able to do that, then the man is even saying that they are entering a new tax regime, the new tax reforms, and which they need to drag wide the tax net so that more people pay. It doesn't mean that people will pay, that you are going to tax individuals more. You are broadening the net so that people who are outside the network, they are caught and they are made to pay, both formal and informal. So it's putting all these baskets together and say, hey, we are trying to borrow less and indirect borrowing, and look at tax after tax after tax, revenues from government enterprises, government to enterprise under the Ministry of Finance Incorporated. Then after that, we are going to look at venture capital more, that we have investors come with their money and coming to the country while we work on power and rest of that. So those are the things he's talking about. And why not? It can work.
So because if you read further, the minister is saying that we are going to depend on our own resources. And now my question is, our resources, are they still functional? Do we actually still even have those resources that we claim to have?
We do. I mean, he's talking of more government revenue. Those are resources too. He's talking of with the new tax law
implementation.
Implementation will implement very well, and they're able to widen the tax net. You are going to have your revenue, there are resources too. And he's talking of maximizing even our minerals and all that. The other time there was this controversy yesterday that federal government was setting up a gold refinery in Lagos, and the government said no, it was a private enterprise who was doing it. Who just like petrol and the rest of them, you have raw gold, you don't have to export the raw gold. You put it to a refinery, and when you treat it, it becomes the real gold. All the impurities are gone. Then you can sell for its real value. And those are the things he's talking about, that are going to depend on more for resources. And to be fair, things are looking up. Things are looking up. For the masses, I think for the first time in a long time, food prices are dropping now. And the masses can see, and it's not propaganda, like people are satisfying to it.
Yes,
and
actually.
It shows that okay,
it's getting better.
That's the first real win of the reform. If they can concentrate and consolidate on that one, I don't see why it shouldn't work.
Well, is that would you? Okay, I would not want to say that, but again, like I said at the beginning of this program, how that this year is the year of politics, where would have lots of discussions will be going here and there, like things would spiral, and of course the present administration would want to do so right. I mean, they've been doing right, but they want to intensify their good efforts, to ensure that Nigerians see the value or see their importance while they are still in that position, or why they still occupy positions. Now my question is, the reduction in food prices here and there, maybe that could also be part of, okay, we can be like this, we can reduce things for Nigerians, we can make things lesser for Nigerians and reduce the burdens in which at which many people complain and all of that. Don't you think maybe this is also a way of
They have no choice. I mean,
I mean,
it's an election year. The government has to.
but do we have to wait till an election year before we start seeing the
No, that would
benefit?
not be fair. That would not be a fair question. They started it before, which
They
they,
started it before.
they started the reforms 2 years ago, going to 3 years now,
Yeah.
and they've been choking, marks that you
Mm,
can track
mm.
from point A to point B. So it should not be because they say that they are waiting to the election year. That would not be a fair question.
But
They've been doing the reform before the election year. It just goes into the election year.
okay, now is the visibility time, the result of the hard work, so to say. Maybe
Well,
the light at the end of the tunnel is this year, just maybe.
well, you can't say it's not stopping. It's a process. It's a continuum. It's still continuing.
Okay.
That's the point I'm making. It's still continuing, and unfortunately, during the year there will be a lot of spending,
Yes.
legal, legit or illegit.
Yes.
Election is coming. A lot of money will
Will
came
go
down, and
down.
a lot of coming in could trigger some form of
Mm,
inflation.
mm,
But if they have been able to control the inflationary trends coming from 20 something
mm,
to around 16 now, and they are still promising that it's going to be less.
mm.
So I don't believe that they are going to let their hands off
The oak.
the machine.
Mm,
So, but what I feel that given altogether,
mhm,
there is a need for some cautious optimism.
mm.
I won't say the light at the end of the tunnel because that one supposes that the process is coming to an end. It will still continue. But see, you
It's a
can still
continuous
reshape the
process.
economy, broaden stuff,
Mm,
bring in more resources to the economy so
mm,
that it doesn't spark too much money is not chasing too little goods.
mm,
If that one does not happen, the economy can expand. Of course, the neighbor people are talking of looking at national minimum wage in another 3 years. The university did that was just talk
mm,
says that they are going to look at it again after 3 years. So that shows that the economy is getting bigger, and if it's getting bigger, there are more resources to share. And if there are more resources to share, wages will go up. That's how it goes. You are not going to just pump up wages, then find out that you have more money and there are no goods to buy. That's the situation. They are trying to avoid that, and I think they have been making some. I never supported the double drop, remove subsidy, and float the naira. I felt it was a double one.
mm.
But apparently, many of us, how does the economy put it? People are the skeptics. That's how the
Mm.
economists say the skeptics. People who doubt. They are proving us wrong that maybe you are not totally right, and well,
Mm.
we start to be corrected
Right.
by their own strategy, by their own the tactics they employed.
Yeah.
It's turned out to be a good strategy for the
Mm.
economic strategy, and
Mm.
give them some credit, give them with due.
I mean, right, and we are reaping or we are benefiting from whatever it is they've done or they are currently doing and will still do
It's still a
because, like you rightly
process
said,
because
it's
one
not
wrong move
stopping.
can stop it all
Yes,
the whole thing.
yes, yes. So let's just see what this year has, for everyone, especially for Nigerians, of course, and also in the political space. While we, take away, our thought from there for a while, let's talk about the Malami, the DSS saga. I'm taking the story from the Punch here. It says Malami faces long detention as DSS intensifies investigation. And it says here, former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, might spend a longer time in the custody of the Department of the State Services. Multiple security sources reported that Malami faces prolonged detention as the DSS is already working to obtain a court order to keep him in custody until the investigations are concluded. Just recently it was released, and all of this is happening. Your take, you like your general thoughts on this Malami, case, because it was arrested in December and it was released, and now it's battling with the DSS. Please, can you share your thoughts on this?
Honestly, to me, it's a quandary because
Mm,
this was the number one um, legal officer, judicial officer in the country,
mm,
and he was going after terrorism as a federal minister, well, as a minister, there are no state minister,
Mm.
And for you to flip the coin,
Yes.
and it's now from what we are, the allegations that is supporting,
Mm.
terrorism. I find that a bit hard to chew.
Mm.
But again, these are allegations. The government must have their facts.
Mm.
And it's troubling since they say that they had some arsenal,
Mm.
arms and ammunition in this. The EFCC went there for another investigation. They had arms and ammunition. It's an
Mm.
allegation. They say they have some proof. Yeah, I can't comment on that. You just wait until you have
Mm.
they call but they say they are going to he himself from what we read. I don't know what to make of that. He was doing a bail,
Mm-hmm.
but from the reporter we read, they claimed that he was trying to slow things down because
Mm.
he was afraid that he would be rearrested if he fulfilled his bail terms.
Mm.
So they would rather stay in prison than to go into the custody of the
The
DSS.
DSS.
I really don't know what that means. But the moment he released, they grabbed him and they say they are going to detain. It's a security,
Mm.
and by security matters, state agents have some leeway to
Mm.
detain the citizen so long as they can prove that it's a security issue. Well, at the end of the day, let justice prevail. I mean, if let the man be tried
Mm.
freely, if he's innocent, let him go. If he's guilty, let him face the can. I mean, there's
Mm.
no more we can say about that one. All these are just allegations unless they are proven. You can't just
Not guilty.
guillotine the guy.
But this all probing, this all arresting, the whole allegations. I don't know. Maybe if we are, because I would say this is a right step, in the right direction when people are being held accountable, for what they did or how they ran office and
What they allegedly did.
allegedly did. Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. You see, we report there's this structural, there's this cultural.
Mm.
Kill them now, 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 now. That's not due process. The
Yes.
man is alleged to have committed some offences.
Mm.
Fine. The state has the right to allege. The man has the right to defend himself. Whoever
Yes.
triumphs will be the result. If the man triumphs, he gets it. If the state triumphs, he goes to jail.
Mm.
As simple as. But as at now, he's still an innocent citizen being investigated,
On the
which is legit,
trial.
and we share a rules.
Mm. But do you think this is going to take like for too long?
I don't know. It depends on
With the count of the
well, the man is
allegations?
in detention now, so nobody
Yes.
can accuse him of obstructing investigation.
Mm.
So that helps.
Right.
That helps. So if they manage the system very well, and don't forget there's a political language to it.
Mm.
The man wants to contest as governor, you know, and that's the political aspect of it. And many people have said that it's because he wants to run. I don't buy that book. It's not because he wants to run. They say they have legible and credible allegations
Mm.
against him. The state has the right to hold that against citizens.
Right.
What a citizen must do must robustly defend him or herself,
Mm.
and that's the process. We shall it plays out.
Well, like you rightly said, we'll see how it plays out. But speaking of, just to wrap this up, speaking of this year 2026, side of 2027, your thoughts on this year and what it might be like in the political scene. What are your expectations here and there? Any whatsoever?
I really don't see any drama unfolding, honestly.
Mm.
I really don't see because look, the government have been doing its reforms,
Mm.
you know, and they say we want to be some Jeremiah
Mm.
that always sees doom. You consider that they made some progress. That's the truth.
Mm.
They made some progress. And if you track Nigeria, although the problem the mistake this government is doing again is pretending as if the thing started in 2023. It didn't start in 2003. If you track it from 2015, if you plot the graph, they've been making some progress. But nobody wants to give Buhari his due, which is criminal assurance and all that. Compare 2015
Mm.
1999 to 2015. Then 2015 to now. In every day, there has been a lot of progress. Infrastructure, agriculture, economic recovery, and all that. You know, you can't compare. It's like day and night. The politicians are not a politician if they don't try to badmouth and try to say nothing has been done. The people are not stupid. Like I said, the greatest democratic coup is that price of food is falling down. Then take the economy aside.
And that's very, very important.
That's very far, because it's the blackmail that is used. People whose action and inaction caused it in the past will now post as if messiahs. I mean, that's politics. They even leave that one aside. There have been a lot of very pacting in terms of political rearrangement.
The trajectory.
Exactly. Look at Southwest. It's not even very dramatic in Southwest. South is very dramatic. South is near dramatic. Middle belt north. So where is the opposition vote coming from? I don't know.
Well, now the PDP are saying that if Jonathan wants to contest, he can contest.
Where
if
will
other member of the PDP wants to contest, they can also
where would Jonathan vote come from?
Maybe from the state, I guess.
How? The state that are reflected to
APC. Is inter.
Oh, these are the things. I really, but you see, until that post, but I feel that in terms of marshalling the estate, I think the government have tried. The economic care, they've done it. The demographics, is it the students who are enjoying their student loan that will go and vote for somebody that is it the look, as the president is doing his policy, the son is going after other demographic, the wife is going after social demographic. So where will the vote come from? Come here, I try to be strategic in my distance. How? Where? Is it magic?
Well, maybe some people who have benefited, maybe people who benefited in his administration might, I don't know. But till then, anyway.
Hey, wait and see. Now, exactly. I've not seen any drama. I've not seen any drama. Honestly, that's.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is just like the first month in the year 2026. Yeah, we still have about 11 months to go. And within that, 11 months, a lot might happen.
And don't forget, the government will not put the virus.
Of course.
We see how it goes. I mean, I really don't see.
So by then, maybe the conversation will be more juicier and sweeter.
And before we go, there was this blackmail that they are killing Christians in Nigeria. Which was a misinformation. And we did an editorial. Say, look, this was IPOB supporters who were telling lies. We wrote a very long lecturer,
piece on it.
And it had been confirmed. New York Times run a story that it was somebody who was running an NGO selling paper that was feeling their way, and they paid people, the lobbyists, to be spreading the subject. Ironically, one of the people they paid was now complaining that the federal government had outbidded him. They paid more for lobbyists. He was now complaining. And I told her, I said, why don't you want to lie or something? Why don't you go back to your payment to give you some money instead of complaining about pleasure? So that thing has been discredited now. So you see, where would the thing come from?
And that thing actually caused a very big uproar, like everywhere on social media, off social media. Everyone,
Trump is done there.
Everyone had a lot to say.
Exactly.
But I'm glad your thing has, degenerated to the level that nobody actually believe, or rather maybe believe whatever it is, and just go with the Nigerian report. And I'm also glad that the presidency, they also came in full force and denied whatever it is that the United States, folks were trying to do. Thank you so much, Mr. Abimbola, for coming on the show this afternoon. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
You look amazing as usual, by the way.
Thank you. I'm not going to buy myself.
Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for staying here with us. And till we come your way again, I remain Yewande Fasan. Have a beautiful afternoon. Bye-bye.